Hello AOS fans, Robin here, back once more after a very long break with a deck review for you. Yes, finally Pete and I have played some Warhammer Underworlds, having played lots of Warcry over the summer and obviously had summer holidays and things like that. We did sneak in a game of Warhammer Underworlds 2, or a couple of games, and this is the deck that I bought to that game. So I played the Profiteers in the game, and this is the deck. I was looking for something a little bit different after my Grand Clash experience, and we had agreed, one of our Patreon requests was Profiteers versus the Fast Riders, and both of those, I think, offer a playing experience different to the Godsworn Hunt, and in the end, I plumbed for the Profiteers while Pete took on the Fast Riders. Now, although they're different, the meta at the time was very heavily towards the score immediately, and obviously the Profiteers, they favour score immediately objectives as well. But I thought I'd try and go for something perhaps a little bit different. I thought I'd try Tome's deck. I know Tome's decks are quite in vogue, or were quite in vogue, particularly for Mollog. Now the Dwarves have got they're a good candidate for the Tomes. They're quite hard to do damage against. They've got some cards in their arsenal which to help them get extra wounds and things. Obviously the big guy Bjorgen Thundrik inspires to 5 wounds and he's got 2 shields, so he's quite tough. And I kind of feel like he's a good person to try and get those tomes onto. And of course you've got 5 people, so should Thundrik die, you've still got somebody else you could probably put the tomes on him, isn't it? And because most of them have got a decent number of wounds once they're inspired. And they're fairly easy to inspire because of the fairly easy nature of some of the score immediately cards. Now this deck went over a few iterations, and I think there's some cards I kind of wanted to avoid ended up back in there because they're easy to score. But anyway, here we go. These are the cards that I chose. For my objectives then, I've got Change of Tactics. It's always pretty easy to score, and it's even easier to score if you have a card that enables you to put somebody on guard, and the Profiteers do have such a card. Escalation for obvious reasons, and then a Profiteers card, Focus Fire. Score this immediately if the third different friendly fighter makes an attack action with a range of 3 or more targeting the same fighter in this phase. Well, I put this in the end. I think this was a sort of late addition, I think. I put this one in and Keep Chopping in, because although I was going to be thinking I'd be playing more defensively, I thought actually I've got enough dwarfs I can sit a few out the front, get some Focus Fire off, score Keep Chopping maybe, and kind of get the glory in for getting those tomes out, and then worry about keeping the others alive. Similarly, therefore, I've got Headshot, because that goes with making lots of attacks, because you just need to score critical hit, and you are slinging quite a few dice. Live by the Code, which is an end phase card, but I'm going to score immediately. If you did not discard any objectives in the preceding action phase, if you cannot discard any objective cards in the end phase. Well, this one I noticed was a hot card, I think, on Underworld's DB, and I thought, well, that's interesting. And I could see why. You've got lots of score immediatelys. You're probably going to score those, and you're unlikely to discard any objective cards, and probably reasonably unlikely to discard any in the end phase. So that's why I Live by the Code is in there. And then the key one, the Acolyte, the Cataphragms. Get the Hence, because you have got people with knockback in the team, so that's a likely score. Not only with knockback, they don't do too much damage like Mollog does. Now, Great Gains. Score this in end phase if you gain at least 5 glory points in this round. Now, this can be a tough score, especially if it comes out early in the game. However, when I played against some Mollog Tome decks, they found, and we were talking about it afterwards, Great Gains, they nearly always score because you've got that Tome glory at the end of the game to get you 5. So that's why Great Gains is in there. Keep Chopping I've already discussed. War Armour, again, I've got some Cleave in the warband. War Armour I wasn't going to include, it was a late inclusion, but in the end I just decided it's quite reliable. It's quite reliable. Thundrik's got Cleave, and Deadeye Lund's got Cleave. So War Armour's in there. Steady Aim, score immediately when you roll only successes. Well, you've got a reasonable chance of scoring that, and you've got some guys with rolling 2 hammers. There's quite a fairly good chance of scoring Steady Aim with the 2 hammer attacks, and it didn't even have to be a ranged attack, although it's called Steady Aim. It doesn't even have to be a ranged attack. And then Warning Shot, because on the flip side of that is that you often miss when firing lots of shots, so that's why Warning Shot's in there. And then moving on then to the Gambits to try and back that up. Now, Daylight Robbery is a card I haven't played for a very long time, and I kind of put this in there because Pete would be not really expecting it. And again, the guy I played who played Mollog, he had Daylight Robbery in there and used it to massively good effect, much to my chagrin. Now, I will not be avoiding combat quite so much in the same way as that guy was, so, glory might be a little bit easier to come by. Glory might be a little bit easier for my opponent to come by in the games I played. It was the 2 games I played, he had it first turn and took my only glory off me both times, so obviously that's about as effective as the card can get, but I put that in there for a bit of fun. Distraction, good for keeping people away from me, good for knocking people onto the lethal hexes. I have to see how we go with that. Good for objective building decks. Distractions are a good utility card, as you probably know. Jewel of Wits to help me get through the deck to get those tomes out. Hidden Path, because I might want to move Thundrik out of the way if he's got lots of tomes on him, or just anyway, I do need to engage with people. So to score some of my glory, so I might need Hidden Paths to get into combat or to get away from combat. Improvisation again for cycling. Ready for action, because, well, why not? Prepared position for putting somebody on guard for a change of tactics. Seek the Sky Vessel is like a free two free move actions. It's pretty damn great. Didn't actually end up with Longstrider in the deck in the end, which that card is useful for scoring. But, well, what can you say? Seek the Sky Vessel, it's good for getting people out of the way or into position, moving up, just shooting those arrows off or getting back out of the way, whatever. That's why I think the Sky Vessel's in there. Toxic Gases, I love this card. It's particularly useful with lethal hexes around. You can often find that people just, they end up taking 1 damage from it, so it's a really good card. Standard Shoot. If I'm charged, I can have a shot at them. It's quite useful because I think it plays in in an activation as well, so it does count towards kick chopping, I believe. And Duardin Resilience is a card from the Power Unbound set, and it's a specific card, and it enables you to basically reduce damage to 1 in the next activation, which could be useful for keeping my Tome Bearer alive. The upgrades then, obviously it's mostly Tome, so Tome wise it's all of them apart from the one that's Sorcerer specific. I can't remember what it is, that's the only one that's not there. Of course, I haven't got the option that Moloch has of being able to use still activate after he's had a charge token. My Thundrik can't do that, so I could only score Tome of Glories once, for example. And then the other ones, I've got Great Fortitude and Ancestral Fortitude, which are basically the same card. Empowered Ether Shot, giving some extra cleave options to help me score what armour. The MacLeod Draft, which basically reduces, it's basically Potion of Constitution, but specifically for Thundriks. And Bag of Tricks to pull out a tome as and when I need it. So that's my deck. It's 11-11 on the Gambits and Upgrades front. I'll see how it goes. I think I'll probably do better in the first game when Pete doesn't know what I'm doing. Often the way with Tome decks, but we'll have to see how it goes. So until the match, I hope you enjoy the game when you watch it. Until next time, bye!